Hello. Um, hello. I am coming like 1 minute earlier for our masterclass, just kind of settling in. If you are joining me, welcome. I'm just gonna take a minute and set everything up. So um, just take a minute and get everything situated. All right, it's time to start. Happy to see you guys. Thank you so much for attending my masterclass today. It's a free masterclass, which is called Return to Self. And I am so excited and pumped to actually teach that today. Thank you for being with me and thank you for watching. So if you do have any question or comments, drop them below. I'm always happy to hear from you guys. So I think I have a little bit of the delay. So if you have any comments, I will get to them. So just it might take a little bit, it might take a minute, a refresher or something like that. But please still drop them if you have any, okay? So, okay, let me see. All right. So let's begin. Welcome. I'm so happy to be here with you. If you're watching this live, please don't forget to put hashtag live. If you're watching this in replay, please don't forget to put hashtag replay. And if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to put them there as well. Also, don't hesitate to come and say hi. I'm always happy to hear from all of you and see your beautiful faces. So finally, if a lot of you know, I would say, most of you know that this masterclass was moved from last week to this week because of some technical difficulties. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed that everything goes good today. But if there is anything, or for some reason I can see your comments, please let me know and I will try to reply to it. So I have a wonderful slides that I'm about to share. Let me pull them up. All right. So let me pull them slides up and I'm gonna move this around. Okay, let me see, guys. I'm gonna click on present and here we are. So let me know how you see me, if there is any problems. So so we're finally here. We are here on this beautiful masterclass, Return to Self. Today is a Wednesday, November 15th, and I'm so happy that you can make it to this masterclass. So let me see. What is, okay. So let me first introduce myself. If you are new to my world, I am Jenny Black and I'm mindset and transformation coach. I help busy professional women to stop feeling blah and numbing out and running ragged so that they can finally enjoy the improved relationship with loved ones, feel empowered and excited to live their lives their own way. So no more stress, no more overwhelm. We're really going to be concentrating on you. and I'm so happy to be here with you today. So, if you are struggling with any stress, overwhelm, if you feel like you just have too much on your plate, just know that I totally get it. I understand it. It used to be me. It used to be me constantly running and stressing and constantly rushing about all of that. So this picture in the middle, that's exactly me not long time ago. Yeah, how I used to juggle too many things like home, work, kids, and my husband, so many commitments at my work, so many commitments um at home, keeping the house in order, too many commitments with the kids, running them everywhere around, then trying also have some time for my husband because he kind of got pushed away with the kids, with the home, with the everything, with the work. So how I felt at that time, I felt overwhelmed. I felt that I was constantly running. I was feeling guilty for not doing enough. I was helping everyone but myself. My cup was completely empty and there was nothing to pour for anyone else. I was exhausted and overwhelmed. So if that is you, I totally understand it and I totally get it. So what could I do? I had to take a close look at my life and start to understand what can be done. I was already a very efficient with my time. I was working as a project manager. I was highly organized. I was able to juggle lots of things at once when needed. I used to get I at one time I got 2 master's degree at the same time while also working part-time. So I obviously knew how to juggle things, how to be on top of things, but somehow something was not adding up. I knew I can be very efficient and productive, but something was not adding up. That was not it. So before we guys go any further, I also want to remind you to please put hashtag live if you're watching this masterclass live, and put hashtag replay if you're watching it in replay. So let me take a minute and double check that it is showing the way it is supposed to show. Hi, Cheryl. So happy to see you here. So you saying you are seeing the slide. That's awesome. So also want to make sure that the slides are moving. Let me take a moment and I'm gonna refresh my feed. So do you, okay. Do you guys actually see the slides moving, or do you just keep seeing like one slide? Because when I'm trying to refresh it, I just see only one slide. I hope you guys seeing like all the slides. Please let me know if you see them or not. Okay, you did not see them move. Thank you, Cheryl. Let me see if I can fix that. Because that's not supposed to work this way. It's not supposed to work this way. Okay. Let me stop sharing and I'll reshare again. 1 second. Let me see. Okay. So maybe I'll just have to do it this way. Sorry for technology. You got to love technology, right? So, okay, so I'm resharing it back. And so I think I'm just gonna show them like this. Can you see this then? Let me see. Okay. So that was my introduction. If you missed it, I'm gonna run through it. So where I said what I do, I'm mindset and transformation coach, and I help busy professional women to stop feeling blah, numbing out, and running ragged, so that they can enjoy improved relationship with loved ones, feel empowered and excited to live their lives their way. And here is me. Sorry, guys, you didn't see it before. I tried to make the picture of myself here in the middle. That used to be me. That's how I was. That's when I was juggling all different things and I felt overwhelmed and constantly running and feeling guilty for not doing enough because I was helping everyone but myself, and my cup was empty to pour it for and to pour to I will give to anyone really. So so this is the last slide on which I stopped, where I was talking about that I was already very efficient with many things because I was working as a project manager. I actually knew how to manage the time. I actually knew how to schedule things and do so many things. I was highly organized all my life, extremely organized. Guys, my closet is color coded. Yes, so I'm extremely organized person, but somehow that was not it. I knew that that was just not enough. The organization and being highly efficient did not make the difference at that time for me. So I had to do more than that. Okay, so now let me check again on all the comments. Sorry, I'm gonna be checking on the comments. Give me a second. Awesome. Thank you, Cheryl. Cheryl says it. You can see the next slide now. Awesome. Hi, Kim. So happy to have you on my masterclass as well. I know there are some, I tried my best at my slides and picturing myself. So let's go. So I had at that time, I had to go back to myself and how I was to this girl that that was at one time falling apart, and remember all the tools that I have learned for myself. I had to go back and to reconnect to that. So to give a better story about me, that was me about 15 years ago. I was unhappy, I was miserable, I was anxious, I was hating my life. I was finding myself in the middle of the toxic relationship. I had no friends and no money, literally, because I was a student, international student that came from another country. And oh yeah, I was far, far away from the family at the same time too. So I had no choice but to change myself. I had no other choice. So at that time, at 15 years ago, I had to work on so many tools, on my mindset tools that changed so much for me. And when I found myself in the middle of being overwhelmed and busy and stressed, I had to reconnect back to these tools. I had to reconnect back to what I've learned and what have helped me before. So I knew a thing or two about changing for sure. It was time to bring it all back and put it all together. So when I put it all together, it did. It took me a while, but I was able to put it in a beautiful system, which I call Return to Self. And the system is has 5 different parts to it, which really bring it all together and help you in so many ways to really embrace yourself and bring back that overwhelm and start feeling that you can come back to really to yourself. So those parts is emptying the self-love, it's working on and discovering your self-talk, It's paying attention to what you're thinking, to your thoughts. It is understanding your beliefs and digging deeper into your beliefs, as well as decoding your feelings. When all of those things work together, the magic really happens. Your life becomes different. So many things start shifting, and the stress and overwhelm that you had before minimizes because a lot of that is connected with what is happening inside of us. And our life is really truly a projection of what is happening inside. And we see on outside what we have really inside. So that beautiful system that I put together for myself and I work on it and implemented it in my life has helped me in so many levels. So today we're gonna zero in on one part, which I believe is a foundation and the beginning for all of us to start coming back to ourselves and feeling better in so many levels, and that is amping up your self-love. So that is the number one, and that is why I have it at the very, very beginning. Okay, so let me check on the comments again. Want to make sure that you guys can see. Hey Kim, you're saying color-coded closet. Yes, I do have color-coded closets. I'm extremely organized. So, and Kim is also asking what was the final straw that told me that something has to be different. Well, I think coming back to me at when that was 15 years ago, I just had no choice. I had really literally no choice but to change because my anxieties was going through the roof. I felt that I just couldn't continue this way. You know, sometimes we get it at the state where we say, we just can't continue this way. Something has to give, something has to change. And I was at that point. Later on in my life, when I became overwhelmed, when I became overwhelmed, it wasn't that, but it was a remembrance of what I have done before, what um what has happened to me before. And I was like, oh yeah, I do have tools. I do know how to manage this overwhelm. I do know how to manage the stress and how I can feel better. So what did your life look like on a daily basis? If you are talking about me on a daily basis when I was 15 years ago, I would say it was hard for sure because on a daily basis, I felt that I could hardly function. I literally could hardly function because of my anxieties. I had anxieties about pretty much everything. I had a hard time leaving the house. I had a hard time just doing simple things like going to the store, going to work. I actually not sure how I was able to maintain a job at that time. And so that was a long, long time ago for sure. And that's when I had no choice but was pushed against the life where I had to change and master different tools. So that is why I'm so passionate about them. I really have put my heart and soul into them, and they literally transformed my life in so many levels that I sometimes have a hard time even describing. And I am glad that this is resonating with you, Kim. So happy to hear that. All right, so let's go back to the let's go back to the this masterclass and to the slides. So we are talking about returning to self and how this came to be, right? And so really we are concentrating today on amping up the self-love and giving ourselves all the love that we deserve. So, unfortunately, I think lots of people don't know what the self-love really means. What many people think that self-love is a spa appointments and massages, spending money on expensive clothes and bags, taking lavish vacations, getting to party with your girlfriends, having your man to bring you flowers all day, all the time, right? And being invited to different places by others, attending fancy events. That's what lots of people think about self-love, right? And they're saying, hey, I'm gonna go do some self-love, self-pampering session. I'm gonna order a massage. Well, guess what? That might not be the best expression of self-love and self-pampering for you. We are all different, and self-love, it looks definitely different for all of us. What self-love really is understanding yourself, is having a self-compassion, is following through with your dreams, is thinking kind thoughts towards yourself. It's building boundaries when necessary with others and doing really what works for you. It's all about you and connecting to what is important for you. Okay, so to show it in this picture, why self-love is so important. The self-love is really like a little light inside of you. And when we nurture it and when we have the self-love, this light shines bright. It shines so bright that it can warm up the people around us. But when we don't have it, it contracts and becomes small and little, to the point that we don't have that will literally start rejecting the gifts that life has for us. When we don't have self-love, we become blind to the things around us and to kindness from strangers, to things that are working for us already today, to the things that we already have. So self-love is really something that is important and is, I believe, the foundation for a lot of us. And that is why when I work with my clients, that is always what we start with, because self-love is so, so important. So I'm gonna check on the comments again really quick. Thanks, Kim, for your support. All right, so we're gonna continue. And I have a little quiz for you all. How do you know if you need to amp up your self-love? So I would like for you to read, I'm going to be reading through all of those statements. I have 10 of them. And give yourself 1 point if you answer yes to each question. And then we're going to sum it up and see what you get, okay? So let's do that. So for number 1, do you dread your day and don't want to get out of bed? So do you dread your day and don't want to get out of bed? So for number 2, do you feel easily irritated by others and your patience is wearing thin? Okay. Do you feel easily irritated by others and your patience is wearing thin? Number 3, do you find yourself unable to do certain tasks even though you committed to them? Do you find yourself unable to do certain tasks even though you committed to them? So number 4, do you think others have it better and got lucky? Do you think others have it better and got lucky? Number 5, do you feel that your life is just blah? Do you feel that your life is just blah? Number 6, do you feel like everyone just wants something from you and that you always owe to everyone? Do you feel like everyone just wants something from you and you always owe to everyone? Number 7, do you feel that you are selfish for wanting a break and feel bad? Do you feel that you are selfish for wanting a break and feel bad? Number 8, do you always fear that you are doing something wrong? Do you always fear that you're doing something wrong? Number 9, do you feel guilty all the time? Do you feel guilty all the time? And number 10, does your life just lost any spark? Does your life just lost any spark? Okay, so now let's add them up and see what number you got. I'm about to pop up the what that means. If you guys comfortable sharing your results, you're definitely welcome to share. If not, just keep it to yourself. That you don't have to share for sure. So results for this quiz. If you got from 0 to 2, you have good levels of self-love and you're trying to practice them daily. If you got from 3 to 5, maybe you need a little refresher, and amping up some love can help you to re-energize. If you got 6 to 7, some self-love will really help you. And finally, 8 to 10, it's time to examine how you live your life. So what did you think about it? Any comments? Anything that you want to share? Cheryl got a 7. Some self-love will really help you, Cheryl. Honestly, I think for everyone, even if you got 0 to 2, it is definitely self-love, and practicing self-love can help us all to take our life on the next level, because very often we just forget about it. And I would say almost everyone can amp up their self-love and feel good about it. Oh, thank you, Kim. Kim said, I love that you put self-love as understanding yourself. Yes, it is for sure. It is understanding yourself and being compassionate with yourself. And that is why sometimes it's so hard, because for people, they think that self-love is really just those, pampering sessions, but for everyone, it is a different thing. And for some people, yes, it could be that to amp up your self-love, pampering sessions can help, but really it means much more than that. It is going deeper. It is connecting with yourself. It is connecting with your soul and really truly seeing what do we need, what what do we want, and how can we express the self-love to ourselves. All right, so okay, I know I need to amp up some self-love. What do I do? It's really the practice that takes time, but starting is a half battle one. So for many people, it means different things. And if you, so as I said, your way of improving self-love might be different from someone else's way. And what I do invite you to do is to start reflecting on what makes you happy. So let's look at this. Where do I start practicing self-love? So answering some really deep questions for yourself can really, really help you to start understanding how we can practice that self-love better, and where we can start, right? A lot of times it's journaling about it, answering the pointed questions, and also for many people, meditations can help. So here we're gonna talk a little bit more about some questions that can really help you to start figuring out where you can start practicing your self-love on a daily basis. So these 2 questions are really, really big, and I Really, I always share them with my clients and make them to look into that. So first question is, what drains me the most? So answering that will help you to understand where you might need a boundary or mindset work. So where to understand what is draining you the most, right? And the second question is, what makes me excited and lights me up? And also you can answer why, but if you don't know why, that is okay too. So what we usually do is when we answer what lights me up, we try to incorporate it into our daily routine and start doing it more often on a daily basis, starting committing to yourself and doing on a daily basis something that lights you up, something that you look forward to on a daily basis, whatever that is. For some people, it can be, as simple as going for a walk or reading a good book or meditating. If you're not into this, it could be, turning up the music and dancing like no one is watching, right? Something that lights you up. It doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be huge, but it's something that makes you happy. And when we're talking about that, something that drains you, that is something where we want to look into and see how we can set the boundaries around it, or how we can shift our mind around it if that is possible, our mindset around it if that is possible as well. So Kim, you are saying, I love to light a candle in the morning and drink a cup of coffee while soaking up God's word. That is awesome. Everyone is different, and that is awesome that you found something that works for you, right? It can be anything, but those, usually the morning routines or the evening routines, that's where we want to incorporate that self-care, that time for us, time for our soul, where we want to connect with what really makes us happy. Thank you for sharing. Okay, let's see. And since now we're around holidays, I also want to share examples of building boundaries around the holidays. I know the holidays are coming and lots of people are stressing out around them. I personally talked to several moms when I was picking up my kids that are all already stressed up about the holidays. So what can we do? How we can stress up, reduce the stress, and how we can set up the boundaries around it. So first and foremost, again, we want to ask what drains me the most around the holidays, what makes me the most unhappy, what like really feels icky, right? And for everyone it's different. So I'm gonna give an example of the lady that I recently talked to at my kids pickup. So she indicated that for her it was having too many gatherings around the holiday. Need to attend too many gatherings in a short period of time, feeling guilty about leaving each after a short period of time and moving on to the next one. So I think she had like 2 or 3 days in which she would visit several families, her parents, the parents of her husband, then the also her sister's family, her sister-in-law family, and so on and so on. She had several families, right? So so you might be struggling with something else, but that's what was for her. So we always want to start with that. We want to identify what exactly is something that drains us. And the next question that we want to ask, what can we do about it? So in this particular example, can we say, can I skip some gatherings this year and visit with them at another time? And it's really, you need to know, right? What are those? If those are your close relatives and they will be absolutely upset and devastated, if you're going to skip it, then the answer is probably going to be no. But in some cases, sometimes it can be yes, because you could have more distant relatives, you could have some friends that you don't really feel like can fit into that short period of time. And if the answer is yes, what we want to do, we want to communicate with them ahead of time in a clear and concise manner. We want to be really steady in our boundaries. We don't want to appear like they can push on it. Okay, so we want to say something like, unfortunately, I will not be able to attend this year due to my schedule being too full. I'm being overbooked. Me and my husband only limiting um, our commitments to a certain number of commitments. So you can explain it in several ways. I can see you this Christmas and looking forward to catching up then. So you always want to end kind of on a positive note and communicate when can you get together, and say that you're really looking forward to it, or in any other positive note. That always helps and leaves a better impression. So if, for example, we cannot skip, where can we limit the visits to the shorter period of time, right? So if we really have to go to all of them, but what happens, they start bleeding into each other. You go first to your parents and then you don't want to leave. They feel you guilty. They they make you feel guilty that you have to leave. And then you're running late for your second afternoon visit, and it just starts getting out of control and you feel bad around it. Exactly the same thing. Communicate clearly and ahead of time to set the right expectations. Unfortunately, my calendar is really full this year. Unfortunately, we have to do 2 visits in the same day. So due to that, I would have to leave at this time. I would have to leave early, or I would have to arrive late to your gathering. Tell them the time that you're going to leave, or tell them the time that you're going to arrive. And also give yourself a break. So don't put them close together. Give yourself a break, a little bit of cushion, right, in between. So tell them the time, and again, leave it on a positive note. Cannot wait to spend some time together and catch up. Always leave it on a positive note. When we communicate ahead, when we just communicate as a matter of fact, we are not asking them, we are not telling them, hey, can we do this? No, we are already set a boundary for ourselves. We just tell them that's what we did. And when we communicate that clearly and respectfully, and when we also do it in a manner that makes them feel better, where we end up always on a positive note, cannot wait to spend some time with you, right? Which we truly are. We're just busy, right? That always helps us feel, to reduce the guilt and feel good about what we are doing. So yeah, thank you, Kim. Boundaries are necessary magic. Yes, they are. They're definitely necessary. And sometimes, unfortunately, we leave it. And when we don't communicate it clearly, what happens is that people assume you're going to be there a whole day, right? If you don't tell them what time you're leaving, they assume that it might be later. So stating and drawing that boundary clearly always helps. So if others call me selfish, if I started drawing the boundaries, if I started communicating this way, if I started protecting my time, if I started to protecting my sanity, lots of people come and start saying you're selfish, and that happened to me too. So, but what we need to understand here is that people call you selfish because they want you to do something or not to change, right? So if you always before didn't communicate about it, you just came to visit and you stayed there for as long as you wanted, even though it made you late to another event and make you feel guilty and bad. That's what you always done before. So now when you start communicating, it might make people angry and upset because they don't want you to change. They want you to do the same thing that you always done. They want you to do something that you always did before, which means sometimes give up and listen to them, right? But what that means is that they are making, when they make you do something that they want you to do, right? And that is the definition of selfish. When others point out that you're selfish, it's always because they want you to do something. But when they want you to do something, it's them being selfish. So the really joke is on them. So we always want to bring it back full circle and remember that. And when we remember that others treat us, how others treat us is a reflection of them and not us. So if they're getting upset about this, if they're getting upset about us setting a new boundary, if they're not happy with us trying to protect our energy and our time, again, it comes back to them. It comes back to them. Why are they so angry about it? Why they're not so happy that we are trying to do something that is good for us? So the joke is really on them. So, okay, so and to kind of summarize on what we have talked today about the self-love, I want to remind you, when in doubt, love yourself like your life depends on it, because it really does. One book that really changed a lot for me, and I don't know if you ever heard about this or not, it's a book by Anita Moorjani, Dying to Be Me. If you never read it or if you never heard about it, check it out. She also shares her story. You can find it in a lot of places like YouTube. And it is absolutely beautiful story about how she had the cancer and was literally dying to just come back and start living again. And her cancer was magically healed after her near-death experience. But the one thing that really stuck with me through this book was how important it is to love yourself. The main reason that she believed everything happened with her was because she didn't love herself enough. And that is something that always sticks out for me. And this is a phrase that I believe, and now I don't remember where exactly it came from, but I think it came from her. Love yourself like your life depends on it, because it really does. Our life, our livelihood, how we live, everything around it, what we see on a daily basis is truly, really tied into our self-love. The more we love ourselves, it doesn't mean that we are being more and more selfish and taking from others. That's not how it works. How it works is that when we support that light inside of us, it shines brighter and brighter, and it can spill over to others. So, and I hope that resonated with you guys today. So if you listen to this and you want to learn more, you want to know, this is awesome, I like it, but I do really want to dive deeper into how I can truly set my boundaries in a better way, if I want to know a little bit more about other parts of your system, if that is you, let's chat, let's talk about it. I would love to talk with you about my better program that I currently have, and um, see if that would be a good fit for you. I'm gonna talk a little bit about it at the very end. So this beautiful, beautiful system that worked for me, I'm putting together in a new course that is called Return to Self, and I am opening up a short beta program for it for extremely discounted price. So it's only going to be available for this extremely discounted price for a short period of time. And I am will be sharing with you the 4 weeks of supported journey with me. If that is something that you're interested in, please send me a direct message and let's chat about that. So what does that include? The short beta program for extremely discounted price, 4 weeks of supported journey with me, will include 4 one-on-one sessions, which means you're gonna have one-on-one support. We're gonna go at your pace. We're gonna do it in a way that fits you and your schedule. Those sessions will be tailored to you and your situation. So we're gonna find what is the most important for you to start with, whether it's self-love, whether it's self-talk or anything else. What will make the biggest impact on your life, will reduce your stress, will reduce your overwhelm, will help you to heal the relationships with your loved ones, with your kids, with your husband, with your family. I am committed to provide you the best results possible, even in this short period of time. And if you feel like that is not going to be enough, you will have the ability to add more sessions at also very low discounted price. So right now, this beta program is at an unprecedented low price of $200. If you're interested, please contact me today because I only have 3 spots at this price. So if you guys are not going to be able to get on those 3 spots, I will not be opening it up any longer, at least not at this time. So if you're interested, or if you know, if anyone that you know could be interested in it, I would love that connection. Just send me a DM, connect us, and let's talk how I can serve you and how you can try this amazing offer. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here with me. I know that you could be doing lots of things. Thanks, Cheryl. Yeah, so Cheryl, so that's an amazing price. Yes. It's really, truly a great deal. And it will be, once it's gone, it's going to be gone. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here with me. I really appreciate that. I know that you could be doing so many things in the middle of your Wednesday, but I appreciate you taking the time and jumping here online with me. Thank you, Cheryl. I'm really happy to share this all with you. If you do have any questions, my DMs are open. Just send me a private message on the Facebook or on Instagram if you're connected with me on Instagram. I also have an email at zhenya.blag@gmail.com that you can send me to, and let's talk. Thanks again for listening. I'm gonna stop sharing here. Thanks again for being here with me, and I will talk to you soon. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.